Okay, well, so this is always awkward getting started, right?
That's what she said.
I was going to do it too.
It's good. I'm glad that's the first thing in the podcast. Let's
That's what they said.
go around say a word about who we each are. Yeah.
One word?
And, no, a few number of words. Not a whole life story. I'll start. I'm Harry Nichols, and I am an English teacher and a musician, and I am also a horror nerd and horror literature nerd.
Okay. I am Jen Lightfoot, and I am an artist and tattoo artist, and also a horror nerd. I feel like I'm in like an AA meeting or something.
Hi, Jen.
And we're ruining Ariel Arbisser's name.
Yes.
Right? So Ariel, will you tell us who you are?
Yes, absolutely. My name is Ariel Arbisser, and I am a singer-songwriter, and I teach singing and acting. And I would not say I am a horror nerd, because I think that comes with some expectation of like knowledge. But I very much enjoy horror and scary movies, and feel like I have a good standard.
Nice.
If I do say so myself.
So tell us your experience with horror then. Like, what's one of the ones that sticks out to you?
The first horror film that like made a huge impact on me growing up, I think that I was like, this movie's actually amazing and it's a horror film, was 28 Days Later. Was just like, I like that. It was amazing, and the music was amazing. Like, it had all the emotions and the scare factor, and it was just beautifully shot. It was amazing. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It was one of those little indie ones. See, that's like...
It was supposed to be indie, but it ended up being like a pretty
really
big thing.
Yeah.
The sequel, though, not good.
I saw the first.
I never saw the sequel.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here we are in Jen's house, and we are here to talk about...
Attachment.
Thank you. I was like saying the sentence and it's not coming out.
Improvisation.
I know. So yeah, attachment. Ariel.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about what attachment is as a movie? Like, what's it about?
The movie. Not
Okay.
Well,
Not
sure.
the definition of
we
the
can
word.
talk about the definition of the word attachment.
Well, it definitely was not what I expected it to be based on the name of the movie, but I think the gist of the movie that I would say is that it's about an unlikely lesbian love story of people who live across the world from each other and end up in the same place because they have this meet cute that brings them together, and one is spookily, I don't know, doing spooky stuff, and it's a lot of Jewish mysticism and stuff is involved in the story.
Spoilers are okay, by the way.
Okay, great.
Full spoiler.
I found myself like not sure as I was talking about it.
There will be a full
Right, because
spiel
we're
that's
like,
like,
it for
we're
people.
ruining everything.
Okay, great,
Yeah,
great.
we ruin everyone's night.
Perfect.
Yeah, I would agree. To be honest with you, I felt a little bit uncomfortable as just like an American viewer, because so often I think possession horror is just so Catholic.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I'm comfortable with that, with the idea of like saying that like this religion that is like, pretty, is like in terms of like the power structures, right, of like the country as far as religion goes, right? It's like Catholicism can take some stories about like evil shit in its book, in its pages. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So watching this thing about Jewish demons and stuff was like something that was like I was like I like my this is offensive flags are going off a little
Interesting,
bit. Interesting,
really.
And I recognize that it's not. I'm probably seeing it from outside of the culture for which it's intended. Right? It's a Danish movie. It's
The director was Jewish.
And that makes me feel, you're right. That makes me feel better. But like, yeah, still, I just felt I had like some of those.
That's so interesting.
White people flags.
Yeah, I definitely felt like it was. I felt very at home watching the movie, actually. Okay. I was wondering how you chose it and if it was chosen specifically.
No.
Because I am a queer Jewish woman, and I was like, oh my God, it's like I can relate to so many things in this movie.
Can I just tell you?
Oh my God, that's amazing.
watching it. I was like,
Ariel's mom.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh, we picked Ariel for this movie. Oh shit.
I don't know. I think that's appropriate. I think it's good. Yeah. No, I enjoyed that.
I just really didn't want to be the guy. It's like, Ariel, you're Jewish.
Yeah, you picked the movie, so it's not my fault.
It was a stereotypical choice and whatever.
Right, that's what I was going for. Jen, what was
my take on
your
it?
take on it? What do you, yeah.
Well...
Did you feel the same feelings that I did, or was it
No,
like
I did not. Okay. No, but I was also like, okay, so... Like, I have relatives that are Jewish, but not...
Orthodox.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Words. It's been a long day. I worked. Okay, yes, not Orthodox. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't sure of all the things in it, if it was actually, like, true to Orthodox Judaism or not. I don't love possession movies. So I really wanted the movie to be something else. I actually felt like it was slightly lazy and just felt like, oh, here's a possession movie.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see it with Judaism instead of Catholicism.
Yes, I feel that. I think that, unfortunately, so there are other horror movies in Judaism, right? Like, that relate around Jewish mysticism and stuff. And I think the bummer about them is that it's all the same story, which I guess maybe applies to other horror movies, too. I don't know. But, like, there's, like, one main myth or whatever, as far as I know anyway, in Judaism that comes up in these Jewish horror films. And so it feels pretty rote a lot of the time.
Always the
Dybbuk.
Is it always that?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think so, at least in the ones I've seen and heard about.
What are some other ones, out of curiosity?
Oh, I don't know the names of any like, off the top of my head, but I just, like, the Dybbuk is the only evil spirit that I've heard of growing up, you know, like, and it's not like it's been a huge thing. I didn't hear about it till I was in my mid-20s, I don't think. So it's definitely in, like, a different crowd of Jewish people, I think. More mystical crowd.
Was it, Ariel, did you talk about, like, or was it you, Jen, who talked about possession movies as, like, you're not a huge fan of possession movies. Can you explain why?
Well, I was very interested to see what was going to happen, and I really should have seen that it was the Dybbuk ahead of time, but I was like, maybe it'll be something different. I find that, like, they're all the same. Like, once they get to the possession part and, like, the exorcism part, which, to be fair, this was, like, short in this movie, I'm just like, okay. Yeah. It's the same structure.
It's always the same, like, thing.
It's the same thing. Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, every exorcism movie, I'm like, okay, this is the same thing over and over again. Like, it's just a very formulaic horror, and I haven't seen something, like, new and unique done with it necessarily.
Yeah. The only difference with this one, I thought, was it was actually less climactic. Like, it was more anticlimactic, because even that moment was, like, nothing happened in that moment, you know? Like, there was no tension. Like, that was the end of the tension when that moment started, I felt. Right. You know? So it was just, like, it was sad at the end, you know, when they switched places or whatever. But otherwise, I felt like there was already a resolution before the resolution, which kind of was a letdown. And all of that 2 hours of building up.
Yeah, and it all seemed to go well for them.
Yes, exactly.
like
it did seem to go
very quickly. It was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And that's what left me a little bit unsatisfied, too. Like, I feel like I didn't... As Jen knows, when we've talked about horror in the past, like, I like horror movies that make me hurt inside. Yeah. And, like...
Wait, did you say make me hurt inside?
Yeah.
Okay.
What did you think I said?
No, I like that. Like,
yeah.
Make you feel things.
Yeah, absolutely. And, like, and this one was just so... It's been a while since I've seen a horror movie that has, like, kind of a happy ending.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. And I just didn't...
I think they tried to put a little, like, tension at the very end with, like, Maya still having that bowl. Like, she clearly is, like, prepared for it not to be totally gone. But it wasn't enough for it to, like, actually mean anything.
Right.
Yes, yeah.
There was that moment where, before the exorcism, where I thought it was going to be exciting and different because when Leah, like, lunged at Maya and... Maya did that whoosh thing. Mm-hmm. I thought that the demon was going to go into her instead, and that they weren't going to realize that until, like, they were doing an exorcism, and then Maya was actually going to be the one possessed, which would have been cool.
That would have been,
but it didn't happen.
Should have had you on staff.
It was just like, okay, she, like, ran by her, and now they're going to exorcise the Dybbuk. Okay.
Yeah.
That would have been more interesting.
It would have been so cool.
Yeah.
And then, like, them leaving together would have been so cool if they hadn't figured it out, you know, because then, like, Leah's
because then it does that horror movie thing where it's like,
Right.
it's not
It's
over
switched.
yet.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. That's what I was hoping.
I did feel like the happy ending felt tagged on, as if like like the production company or whatever watched it and was like, oh,
We
this
need
is
something.
too bleak.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if it ends with mom and it's just like
We're
black.
never going to sell this. Yeah, we got to get people wanting to buy snacks as they leave the theater.
Right, yes. Yeah, I was like, no, end on the real depressing thing. Tell me nothing else.
Totally.
Do you buy snacks when you leave the theater?
People, there's the thing, you know, like you want to have people in a certain mood as they go on to the next place they can spend money. Or,
Right.
You know, I don't know.
I feel like I need to buy snacks when I leave
Some
the
people
theater
probably
now.
do that. I'm sure there are people who do that.
Probably. I wonder what that like teenager behind the counter would do. If they,
Yeah.
like,
You just
sold me
ask
a
her,
snack
like-
on the way in and a snack on the way
They'd
out.
be like, you know, you can go to Target down the aisle and get that for like a quarter of the price.
That's
right?
true. You're like, no, I want the extra large
Yeah.
popcorn. Thank you. Oh my God.
I think my favorite part, what I liked about it.
Yeah, let's talk about
right?
good stuff.
I
There
like
was
what
good stuff.
I actually did think that it was like fairly good overall. Like I would, we'll rate it later on, but like the things that I thought I had going for it was like, I liked it as a story about, trying to integrate into someone else's family, right? I think that that's just a really fascinating process. And anybody who has like ever tried to integrate into someone's family that is even a little bit religious, not let alone extremely religious, like you can find that to be pretty jarring,
For sure.
I've had that experience myself.
Yeah.
But
Wait, you have?
I have, yeah. No.
I feel like go on.
I was raised with like a slew of like religious phases basically with my parents, and it all kind of equated to just essentially Gnosticism now, And so then when I met my wife and started meeting her family, like they're Catholic, and it was like go to visit them, they're very welcoming, of course, but like it's like welcome to this world, and it's it's a whole thing, it's a whole vibe. Has anyone ever, have you ever had to do that?
I mean, I feel like I did that with friends' families growing up because I was like the only Jew in Iowa.
Sure.
I mean, that's an exaggeration, but I was definitely like pretty much the only Jew in my, friend group at school and stuff. And so, everybody was Christian or Catholic, and it was definitely weird.
I really felt for Maya trying to put herself out there, be accepted by Leah's mom.
Yeah.
Right. And honestly, that was my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
And there wasn't even any real possession in it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, to me, it felt like two kind of different movies in that way.
Yes. Yeah. I think my favorite was like the beginning, like you said, the meet cute. It was
So
so
sweet,
great.
yeah.
It was so charming. I thought it was lit better than the rest of the movie, which kind of looked like a BBC TV show. But the first part was so great. Like it was funny. It was kind of like sweet. I really got their connection. I really was like, oh, this is great. It's leading up to something truly horrifying, which it didn't, but I really liked the beginning of it.
I had the same experience as it started. I was just like, I love this.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I loved that shot, from above the library where you saw her like running through the rows of books and stuff was so cool. Yeah. And then their experience meeting and stuff and sort of having that first day or two together, I just thought was such a lovely, non-exploitative, like lesbian moment on screen that I really just like, and one was Jewish. I was just like swimming in that moment.
Yeah.
Totally. It was like very satisfying to experience.
Well, I loved like the hinting that they did. I thought it was really good, like a really good slow build up to what kind of ultimately turned out to not be that much.
Yes.
But I really liked the first scene in the apartment where she starts having the seizures, and I was like, okay, and then, like this is starting to get weird.
Yes. Yeah, that head thing is creepy.
Yeah, it is creepy. I actually thought that. I want to give props to, I don't know what that actress's name is. But
I looked her up, Ellie Kendrick or something.
Yeah.
That's Helen Hendrick?
I feel like she did do a lot of bodies.
Yes.
Oh, so
Like
much.
the
really
twitching
creepy.
and the
She
it
did
was
a really good job.
She did, yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing. The other shot that I thought was really scary, because like those movements are always upsetting to watch, I feel
Totally,
like,
yeah.
Yes.
and she was doing a great job of them, like you're saying. And the other shot that I thought was horrifying was, I think it's their last night in the, I don't know, I might have my timeline wrong. But when they're laying in bed together and I guess it's the last night that they're laying in bed together and she starts to have that more serious seizure. And then you just hear her off screen, like gurgling or whatever. And then you see that like blurry shot of her at the bottom of the screen crossing. Did you see that shot?
Yes, that was
it
great.
was so creepy. That was the best,
yeah.
like the creepiest shot of the whole movie, I thought.
Totally.
Ellie Kendrick is her name.
Kendrick.
I think it's interesting to talk about like Kabbalah and stuff, which is the Jewish mysticism that all the story was based around.
Yeah.
Which I don't know a ton about, but it's essentially I know of celebrities who do it, which is why it was so funny that she was like that Madonna thing.
That was very
right.
funny.
So funny.
Yes.
But I think that it's basically like mostly Orthodox people who follow that kind of mysticism stuff, and I think a lot of conservative people actually like are very against Kabbalah and stuff. Like my sister-in-law's a cantor. I think I asked her about it once, and she was like, "No, that's not for us." I don't know.
Okay.
But it was definitely interesting. So I was wishing that I could know some of the like symbolism and stuff that they were using, and I just didn't have reference points for that. But I was trying to Google it and stuff. I don't know.
Totally.
Yeah.
I would say it would be nice if there was a little bit of that in the film. Not that like it has to teach us, but just like a little bit so we know what we're like in.
Yeah.
I felt like that a few times, like when she says, "Oh, I moved here," and I was like,
I know there were
What?
weird jumps that like we weren't caught up on until they were like happening.
Because I was
were
like,
really annoying.
we don't know how like spontaneous she is or impulsive, but she
also
just moved
owned a
in with this.
house, and she just like was like bye.
Like,
I don't
right?
know.
She's like, I hate my life. I'll move in with this girl I just met and
Yeah.
her mom and what to a different country. Like it just seemed like unexplained and like.
Yeah.
And then also I watched it twice. Did
Me
you
too.
also?
Yeah.
Lev, the bookstore,
yeah.
the uncle, brother-in-law. Is that it?
brother-in-law, yeah, sorry.
So the first time he meets Maya, oh my God, I'm gonna get all their names wrong. He like doesn't want to show her anything. He's like, no. And then the second time, he's like, yeah, come back.
Right.
You can flip through this book. I'm like, was a scene cut? 'Cause,
No,
like,
so I
what
was thinking
the-
about that. I don't want to offend anybody listening, but my experience with Orthodox Judaism is that it is like that response that he had to her when she came in as like an outsider to the culture, I felt like was very accurate to my experience with Orthodox Jews, where it's just like, it's a protected space, you know, like if you don't know why you're here, if we don't know why you're here, like we're going to be pretty cold. And so he was just like, yeah, we have stuff for like more advanced stuff here, you know, like you're not going to find that here.
That was believable.
Yeah.
But the second wasn't believable.
Well, the second one I assumed because he realized,
He figured out what she'd gotten herself
when he
into,
saw
I
her
think.
necklace, and she was like, "My
okay.
girlfriend's mom gave this to me."
Just for a movie that
I know.
wanted to be like mainstream, and I feel this way about Shudder originals sometimes. I love you, Shudder, but sometimes they like have so much potential, and it seems like they're gonna do something, and then they like don't push far enough. And I was like, you like we don't know anything about these people or that somehow he picked up on that necklace, which is so fucking minor.
Yeah,
like,
until I rewatched it, there was a lot of stuff I didn't get, and also when I rewatched it, there was stuff that like I was like, why am I not being told this? Like,
Yes,
like I didn't understand why Hannah and Lev seemed to have so much animosity towards each other, as though they were on opposite sides of something, but they were really both on the same side trying to help Leah, right? So like I don't totally understand why Hannah was so against having Lev around. Like I didn't understand that. And then at the end they're
me
both
either.
together coming to save Leah. So I was just like, what was that?
that's a really
it was
good
a huge part of the plot, and I don't have any idea
That
what it
feels
was.
like a cutting room floor loss.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes,
like, it feels
yeah.
like you know, there's kind of this like question about like her dad too, right?
Yeah.
And I assume that there's
Yes.
something
Yeah, maybe there was
that
like
was
an
idea that
explanation
didn't
that
make it.
yeah.
But you're right. It I hadn't realized that that's like weird, given the logic of the movie.
It was when I rewatched it. I was just like, but
it doesn't make sense.
maybe they were approaching it from like different ways. Like maybe he wanted to try to exercise it earlier and Hannah didn't want to, and that's why they were against each other till they had to exercise. I don't know. It was very weird to me.
That was very weird. I didn't really think about that one at the moment, but you're right. It doesn't
Very
like I can
frustrating.
see why they would want somebody to
Right,
be
to have an
against.
antagonist or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, but like we need a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially, or I need a reason why they're on the same side again at the end.
Yes,
You know, like
yeah.
how did he decide to invite her with him to go to this
And she's
place?
just
Yeah.
like, okay, we'll do the exorcism.
Like, I trust you now. I'll come with you. Sure.
Yeah.
Also, how did they find the house?
Also, where did they go? Is the house near London or is it back in Denmark?
I thought it was back in
like,
Denmark.
I was like, did she just call you like 10 minutes ago and you showed up here? Or like, what's going on?
On a bicycle.
I don't understand.
Yeah, she left on a bike, and he has no idea where the car is because of
He
trees.
drove, right.
So how did he find the house so quickly?
Yeah, tell me. That's another thing. Yeah.
Makes
Yeah.
no sense.
No, yeah, absolutely.
The spirits told him.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And this poor fucking lady who's just trying to find her fucking cat. Oh. Right?
I know.
But like,
Her 1-year-old
what
cat.
a fucking random, like, that to me is like kind of the weakest point of the movie.
Was that the weakest point of the movie?
I think so. Just because like they've done all of this, like, even if some of it doesn't make sense, they've made us invest in these characters
Yes.
for an hour and a
Yeah.
half.
A long time. It was a long movie.
An hour and a half.
Yes.
And they're like, and you know, things are finally coming to a head. This lady is possessed by a fucking demon, and the thing that she kills is just this completely random, nameless.
And the
person
cat.
who
Yeah,
just-
she killed the cat.
Yeah, she ate the cat.
Yeah.
Right, but still, I feel,
We're like, just to be clear, she
Yes,
ate the
don't
cat.
forget she killed the cat.
We want to make sure that's
She probably ate it while it was alive.
yeah.
Right.
The climax of the movie was when she ate the cat. We didn't see it happen.
Yeah, that's
but-
why it was so freaky,
Yeah.
because it was off screen.
Yeah, yeah.
Really scary.
I wouldn't.
the climax of the
To
movie
be
was
fair-
off screen.
I would have wanted her to turn around and just like have cat
Yeah, I thought
blood
she was
on
gonna
her.
have blood on
She
her.
was so conservative.
It
in that
really
way,
was,
You know?
yes.
It was so we barely saw any blood.
Yeah,
when-
we just
when
saw the hand with some
Yeah,
blood.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There was a little bit of like kind of gross out with like the brushing and the like balding herself by brushing her hair.
Yeah,
Even
that
the
was
balding
gross.
was like I didn't notice it the first time. Like I saw it the second time. I was like, was I not paying
That's
attention?
so funny. I saw it the first time and I forgot to notice it the second time.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's another question.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe, I think there was an explanation and I just wasn't paying close attention. When Leah was away at the beginning of the movie, she was in Denmark, away from her family,
Oh, yeah.
and she wasn't becoming a demon totally. And then
Right.
at the end, when she leaves her family's like, she can't survive without us. She's gonna be a demon now. I don't know, or whatever it is.
Well, I
Was
feel
it
like
the-
she was away. She started to become a demon when she was away.
But it seemed like
barely.
she was away longer. I put this in
It's
notes
like,
too.
what
I
are
was
they
like,
talking about? I don't understand.
Yeah.
The only thing I maybe think it could be that I might have missed is that, or maybe they cut, was that she maybe didn't bring that protection necklace with her on the second trip. But they I don't think they said that. I just remember at the end, in the happy part at the end, Maya gives her that necklace back.
yes.
And
she
it's
does.
like, I found this, and it's like, okay. I don't know. Like, what does that mean?
Oh my god. Yeah, I didn't focus on the necklace as much. Maybe that is it, but
But they
definitely
didn't make that clear either, so
No.
it's also annoying.
And I really did think the time frame thing because I was like, in the beginning, it goes on longer. So I was like, oh, like
And she'd already been in Denmark for a while.
yes, because she said she was
She was doing like a program or something, right?
yes, yeah. So clearly she was there before she met Maya. So, but then how long was she in the woods? We have no idea how long
I was
she was
thinking,
out
like,
there.
2 days,
That's what
but-
I thought. I was like, the way they filmed it, it made it seem like, oh, we just got
Yeah,
to the
we
woods.
like just got here and she's going nuts.
Yes. And
Plot
like,
holes you can drive a truck through.
Yeah.
oh my god.
Yeah. Here's a question.
Please, yeah.
I've got a lot of questions.
You have a lot of questions. I love it.
I like it. I like it.
Bring it.
Did anybody understand in the beginning, the good part, the best part for me, why, like, what was the connection between her mom calling and her episodes? Did the calls, like, she always started to do this right before the call happened? So, like, did her mom know that she was, like, being affected and the call happened to, like, bring her back from the edge?
I was unclear.
Yeah,
I felt like my reading was that she was like out there, like running away from her mom, like running away from her family, and her mom was like constantly trying to call and get in touch because she knows what's going to happen
Right.
if she's away for too long, right? And so I didn't really make a connection between the calls happening and the
But
the
I think
tics
they
happening.
only showed the calls when she was having
They
tics,
did.
right?
Yeah, and I thought it was weird too.
Yeah, I was like, at first I thought her mom was like causing the tics the first time I watched
Right.
it. Yeah.
Well, and I think it intentionally tries to
Right.
make it, especially early in the movie where she's like
Ambiguous.
bringing her the soup and
Right,
all that shit.
yeah.
You're like supposed to be like,
Oh, is she evil?
are
Yeah.
you poisoning?
Yes,
Is
for
this like
sure.
a Munchausen situation?
I got over, but I cannot return. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
thought
I
a
don't know if
Munchausen
there's-
thing too. I was like, because I thought the soup.
Mm-hmm.
I actually thought this is fucking batshit crazy what I was like wanting to happen, but they kept showing the wake up now, whatever,
Yeah.
or like
Right,
please
right.
wake up thing, and it was like holding a child, and like she's going through all this stuff. I was like, maybe Leah's dead, and her mom brought her back to
Resurrected her.
life.
She's
That
like,
was
so
the thought
she's like
I had.
a pet cemetery version of herself.
and
Yeah.
then she'll die if she's like away
Too
for
far
too
away,
long.
yeah.
Which I don't know if that would have been more satisfying or the same.
I just felt like the rules around what was happening felt blurry
They're
to me,
loosey-
Yes.
which
they're
was
loosey-goosey.
frustrating to me. So like, I just wanted to understand how that world worked more clearly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And so many of these things I did not even kind of realize until you brought some of them up. But like, yeah, there's definitely something kind of lacking in that, I think. In my constantly, I don't know if I'm bringing up things to try to defend this movie. Something else.
Until this conversation, I was like pretty pro this movie. And
Yeah,
now
yeah,
I'm just like,
now
you know,
it's
I
like-
didn't like this.
Yeah. I wanted to read this movie so much also about like not just like integrating into a family, but also a little bit about like there's just like so much in like the like really troubled relationship between
Leah.
Thank you, Leah and Hannah, and like you know I felt like there's this real atmosphere of like being kept. Right, like especially like early in the movie, those calls, right, feel very controlling if you don't know what's happening, right? All the stuff that happens in the house with the fucking like massages and the soup and all of this like feels, and there's clearly like a lot of tension between Leah and Hannah, and like I wonder if maybe one of the big points of the movie is to talk about how like that. Those relationships kind of perpetuate, and people in those relationships will seek out more of those kinds of relationships often, right?
Because
like,
Maya's kind of
because now Maya has like the bowl,
That's
and
interesting.
like I feel like it feels like it's the beginning of Maya
like
now
that,
being
yeah.
like Leah's keeper.
Yeah.
That's
you know?
interesting. It
And-
fits with attachment.
Right.
That makes me think, yeah, totally. And that makes me think because of the conversation Maya and Hannah had with those beers, because evidently Hannah's a big alcoholic,
Right?
which is weird.
I really love that moment, but we'll continue. We'll talk about that.
I liked them drinking together. I just thought it was odd that like suddenly nobody's mentioned she has a huge alcohol problem.
Yeah.
But I wonder if when Maya said to her stuff like, you know, if I'm not doing things for her or with her, like what am I doing here?
Right.
You know, I wonder if that connects to that idea that like
Right.
it made Hannah feel more peaceful to like have her die and have Leah stay because Maya was going to be there to take care of her, which I think
Right,
is
sure.
that's a nice reading. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read it in kind of like I don't know. I can't help but see it in like a sort of a sinister way though. Like I feel like
Never mind.
it's not just about like being there to take care of somebody. It's about like being someone's like keeper. You know, like there's a
Controller.
There's an element of control in that. You know.
Like the person can't be independent without. It's like codependent in a way.
Yeah.
Like they have to be.
And it's like elevated by the fact that I really felt like did Leah really understand what was fucking happening?
No, she didn't know.
She had no idea. Like,
She just
what
thought her
happened.
mom was weird and
Like,
annoying,
really intense.
and
So
yeah.
like if you think about it from her perspective, like holy shit, what a fucking horrible
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Your mom seems
Life.
super controlling and
Yeah.
like
your mom is like controlling every single thing you do.
I don't want to say anything that makes my mom sound bad because my mom is wonderful. My mom is fantastic and loving and intelligent and wonderful and great and loves me very much, and I love her very much. But there were moments.
But
There were moments where I was like, I get it, girl. You know, like The first one that really I was just so excited to hear was when they first got to the London flat and she like got them upstairs and Kana was being really annoying and overbearing or whatever. And Leah was like, you just have to leave the room, whatever, you know, and she like made her leave. And then on her way out, Kana was like, okay, but like just don't nap too long because you won't be able to sleep tonight. And it was like, that is so accurate.
Yeah.
There's just like one more thing that you just have to say, and it's all for love, you know?
Right.
It's just like so much.
Yeah.
It's a very Jewish mom thing, I feel like. Yeah.
Okay.
Very relatable. But obviously not to the extent that's in this movie.
Well,
but like
obviously.
those moments of like friction, I just felt like were so believable.
They felt, I mean, I did not have that kind of relationship with my mom, but like they felt authentic to me.
Yes.
Like it felt,
Yeah.
It felt like there was a history there between those two characters.
Yeah, and how she would get so annoyed and then immediately jump to defending her mom because she loves her mom, you know, and like, of course, that's what you're going to do. I thought that was very sweet.
I thought they were both really good actors,
Yes.
too. So it, like, helped make it believable because the way that they did it, like, if they weren't great, it could have taken away from it. But they
sure.
really, I believe that they were like mom and daughter. However, Hannah did not look that old.
True.
And Leah and
I also
Maya were like mid
They
to
looked like the
late
same age
30s.
to me, yeah.
30s? No.
Yeah. Maya
looked a little
definitely
older.
was in her 30s. I
Maybe
thought Leah was
young
at
30s.
least 30.
No. Leah looks like a child, but I would guess
Did you think
late
the same thing?
20s.
I did think that, I didn't think there was enough of an age gap
Yes.
between Leah and Hannah, and I thought that Hannah and Maya looked like the same age to me.
What?
Yeah.
I
I felt like they were working
could
hard
see
to make
them looking
Hannah
the same
look older.
age, but I definitely thought Leah looked like she could be Hannah's daughter, personally.
I could believe that, but I also
But if Maya's the love interest, that confuses it. I do think.
and like
Yeah,
Maya's
I definitely
presented
get
as like a sort of equal footing love interest in the beginning, and so that kind of created some weird triangulation of
Well,
where
but she's
the ages
partly
are here.
equal footing because she doesn't have her life together, right? Like she
Right.
never like figured out a career after that and stuff, and
Right.
like, you know, after her acting stuff went out, and I felt like that kind of made sense to me that like Leah had her stuff together. It seemed like, and one of the things I loved about the beginning was how it felt like Leah could read that Maya was so frantic and like uncomfortable, and Leah was just like a calming presence to like keep moving things forward. Like, we're gonna kiss, we're gonna go grab a drink, we're gonna do these things, and it was very sweet.
I actually didn't read Leah as having her shit together.
Yeah.
Because I was like, she still lives with her mom, and she
Sure,
looks like
that's fair.
she's in her 30s. So, and I was like, it's okay if your mom has mental illness, but just like live next door.
She does though. She has her own apartment.
She does, yeah.
I just didn't feel like it was enough.
It's just her mom's in her apartment
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her mom had beers in her apartment.
There may be
Yeah.
a door there, but like
Yeah. No, for sure. There is no boundary, but she technically has her own apartment. Yeah.
True.
Yeah, that would be a lot. That would be tough.
y'all didn't really like the part where like Maya stumbles into Hannah's apartment and sees just like a mountain.
Oh, we didn't talk about that. Yeah, I like that.
Oh, yeah. No, that didn't bother me.
I just thought it was weird that nobody had mentioned anything about Hannah maybe having a drinking problem, and then suddenly she was trashed.
I guess what I liked about it, again, I liked all the aspects where
Yeah.
like Leah was kept super ignorant of
Yeah.
like a lot of the stuff around her.
Yeah, like the mom's house was a little more disheveled than
Totally more
Leah's.
it's like
Yeah.
piles and
Piles
piles
of stuff.
Shit. Like
Yeah. I enjoyed that. I did
Okay,
like
cool.
that.
All
right.
But I felt like it made sense with the story that Leah tells about the father, but I felt
Yes.
like some things about the father had been cut out.
yeah. Can you give me a refresher on the stuff about the father?
Uh,
What do you
Okay,
remember?
so the thing about the father, I think, is what I remember anyway, is that Hannah was raised in a not super religious Jewish family.
Right.
Leah's dad was raised in a very Orthodox family, and when they got together, her dad like basically forced her to move to the super Orthodox neighborhood, and she didn't want to, but they moved there anyway, and she couldn't really fit in because Orthodoxy is like they want you to be in their
Yeah, you
party
gotta
or not,
figure out,
you know. And so she converted, and then once she converted, he left her.
yeah, and it's
right.
Yeah.
I remember them saying that like some of the people in town would like humor her
Right.
and like speak Yiddish, but it was
Right.
like not.
Right. She probably never like was accepted as a real Orthodox Jew, I'm guessing.
Right.
And probably like there's probably some stigma about your husband leaving you in Orthodox
Totally,
Judaism,
yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
that's true.
And she clearly had a lot of stuff on her mind.
And she-
so she was dealing with some shit.
And she also had a daughter that killed another child.
Exactly.
And was there no like repercussion for that? Like,
Yeah,
she
that's
just,
what
like,
I was
killed the kid
wondering.
and-
They're like, move on.
Whoops.
I assumed it was like an
It
accident,
was, like,
ruled
a
an
play
accident or
accident
something.
or something.
I don't know.
One thing we haven't done
Oh, go.
is the rating.
Okay,
We
yeah.
need to rate it.
Is it like 1 to 10?
It is 1 to
Okay.
10. So 1 being what, like the worst movie you've ever seen in your entire life, and 10 being like the best movie that you've ever encountered.
I don't think I've ever seen a 10. Got to save that for like something that changes my life.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
That's
right?
how I feel.
I haven't been doing the ratings that way.
That's how.
I think that's. It doesn't matter how you like.
Yeah.
As long as you're consistent with your ratings,
Fair
you're rating
enough.
it great. Yeah.
Who goes first? Ariel, you go first. No.
Oh, you gotta go
I
first.
touched my nose first.
Okay, you did. Okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
I will give this one. A 6. But I feel like I wish, like, if this movie had actually like done away with the demon possession part, like if it had just been like hints about demon possession, but then it actually turns out to be like a completely secular story that is just like more about these other like themes we've been talking about, I would have been all in for it. It would have been like 8 or 9.
I
It would have
agree.
been super cool.
I agree too.
You know?
Yeah.
My favorite demon possession movies are the ones that are like because I agree with like the demons are tired. You know what I mean? Possession is tired. But there have been some that like flirted with like it actually not really being a demon at all. There was one about like a guy, like a grifter, who like exorcises people who don't, you know, like the premise of the movie is these people don't need exorcism. They're dealing with other stuff, and he like does these like play exorcisms
to make them feel like they
give them like a placebo, and like.
Sweet.
It ruins it in the last like 4 minutes of the movie, but like the whole rest of it is like really awesome in that way. You know
What's
what I
that
mean?
called?
Yeah.
Shit.
Tease. Google
It's
it.
called The Last Exorcist.
Oh,
Last Exorcism.
Oh, I feel like I might have
I'll check it
seen
out. It's
It's
like
definitely been on
found
some
footage.
menus or something.
Yeah.
I love found footage.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
it's
think
found
I
footage.
did see that. A lot of the
can't believe-
Exorcist movies have the same name, or exorcism movies.
Yeah,
It's like
right?
Exorcism of,
I
or
believe it's called The Last Exorcism.
I was just gonna say I can't believe I haven't seen it because I feel like I've scoured all of the lost footage movies during the
Yeah.
pandemic to now. I watched like everything I could find.
This was way pre-pandemic. This was like
Well, I went back, but I obviously missed it. So
is there like a scene in
I
a
might have
barn?
missed others.
yes.
I have
The
seen that.
last
That
scene.
is good.
The one that ruined
Yeah.
it.
No, sorry, the penultimate scene. There's a little denouement that is just a pile of shit, but the rest of it's really great. Anyway, that was a really long explanation as to why this is a 6, but I want it to be an 8, but it's
Yeah.
not. It's a 6. Sorry.
I agree. I wavered back and forth as to whether or not this was going to be a 6 or a 5. And I'm still not sure. I lean more towards 5 because the first 3/4 of the movie I really enjoyed. Maybe more even the
Yeah.
first half. I was like, oh, this is like, I like all the
Yeah.
themes. I like the characters. I like the I don't know, a lot of it, minus all the plot holes that we talked about. But then when it got to the end, I was just like, the minute it started with like the possession, I was like, oh, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
So I think that like, and I don't love double endings. So like the fact that I had 2 endings, that kind of ruined it for me too.
Interesting.
I
That's
feel
such
like you
an
got to
interesting
end a
position.
movie succinctly, know where you're ending it.
Yeah.
Same thing with starting, because that was the issue with Cocaine Bear with like 500 beginnings. But
Right,
like,
right.
Oh, yeah, that
I
was
just
annoying.
right. So that's why I think it's going to be a 5. I want it
Fair.
to be higher.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. I think I'm going to give it, this is going to surprise you guys. I'm going to give it a 6.5.
Whoa, so
I know.
specific.
Because here's my thought process. Similarly to Jen, I was between 5 and a 6. I could not decide. So I was going to say 5.5 to make my heart happy. And then I was thinking about how moved I was to experience the beginning of the movie and to just see Jewish and Yiddish representation on screen and with a Jewish director and Jewish actors and stuff, and a non-exploitative, in my opinion, lesbian love story, and that gives an extra point for me. Yeah.
Okay.
6.5.
I like what you said about the lesbian love story too, because it really didn't matter that it was 2 women.
Right, exactly.
Like the mom
Yeah.
didn't.
And
It
it
was
wasn't
never
like
a thing.
about showing sexy moments. It was like,
Yeah.
it was just really nice. It was just like very comfortable and sweet. Yeah.
It was. I could have. I could have gone with like a sex scene.
I mean, I'm not gonna like say no to a sex scene, but I like the idea.
Your rating?
I like that there is a movie out there that does not take every opportunity to show sexy
That's
women.
true.
Yeah,
That's true.
Totally. It was super refreshing. You're right that the movie like crafts a way to have like the lesbianism not be like really a central conflict point of the movie. You know?
Although I have a problem with it.
Go ahead.
It reminded me of one of the plot holes I felt like. Lev and Hannah seemed to be conflicted throughout the movie. They were contradicting themselves throughout, I felt, about if they knew that Maya and Leah were together. Mm-hmm. I thought it was very weird. I thought that like Maya and Leah were talking as though it was obvious Hannah knew they were girlfriends.
Right.
Hannah never really indicated one way or another what she thought. And then at the end, Lev said something about how, I don't know two friends who want to sleep in the same bed. I could care. I don't care, but I could care. And it's like, they're not friends. They're girlfriends. I don't know. Like, were they...
I felt like what he was trying to say was like, that he knows, but he is trying to say like, it's none of my business or something.
I guess.
Like
I found it very menacing. I thought it was like, I could care and I could like make trouble for you.
Phrasing it in that way
but
is
I'm not
really
gonna
dark.
care. Yeah, it was a weird, and I was like, but didn't we all know that they were like fucking in there?
Right.
I don't know.
It did, look, I will say it felt like, as on the one hand I said it was refreshing, but it also felt strange to me to have like a gay story in an orthodox religious, like really intense religious setting, and have that not be a part of it even comes up at all. You know?
I feel like it didn't have to be exploitative about lesbian sex or whatever, which is what I would expect with a lesbian love story.
True.
Right.
But I was confused how it never got addressed in like their culture and their world and like
yeah, it's just sort of like, okay,
and whether that was
like,
whether that was influencing some of the tension and like the weird interactions they had, or whether it was not. It was like not clear.
Maybe that's just like Denmark. You know what I mean? Like it's just like maybe just Denmark.
It's like so not a
just
thing
like,
that they don't even.
Yeah.
But weren't they in London?
Right, but
the
it's
film
a Danish
is
movie.
Oh,
so like,
fair
we're getting
enough.
their
That's
cultural
true.
perspective.
I like that idea. That it's just like
that might be. That's true. Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Let's go with that.
Or maybe it's just not that
Maybe it's not that
so
smart.
our average, what is the average of that?
It's like 5.75. I gave it a 6. You gave it a 5. You gave it 6.5. So I mean
5.75. Yeah. Look at my math.
Good work.
So good.
That's
Good
not
math.
that's not bad. It's not the lowest
It's above
one
average.
rating that we've had.
It is, and I've actually found that I have enjoyed horror movies. So whenever I research a movie on like Rotten Tomatoes, Metacritic, whatever, horror movies really like they run cool on those things. You know what I mean? Like even ones that are like really acclaimed that I love, with the exception of rare few, are usually like hovering in like the 60s and 70s.
This one got 95%
Really?
on Rotten Tomatoes.
Really?
To be fair, I didn't look at how many reviews, and maybe
Right.
there's like 3 reviews.
Right.
But like,
That's interesting.
yeah, I was like, what?
I looked up some reviews on YouTube just out of curiosity to see like where people landed on it kind of, and I could only find horribly negative reviews. And I was like, that
Interesting.
seems extreme. Like it was not like the worst movie ever.
No,
it just,
no.
there were some things to talk about that weren't there or whatever,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
but like,
Like it could have been great.
Yeah.
It just sort of stayed at mid, which is the word of the day that we all learned.
it all comes back around.
That's right.
I can't believe I just said that. I'm disappointed
It's
in myself.
mid.
Nah. You're like of the moment.
Do anybody have any like what the fuck moments from this movie? Anything that's like
What does
sticks-
that mean?
So what the fuck moment I've been asking people is like a moment in the movie that sticks out to you either. I mean, it's just something in the movie that makes you go, what the fuck? It could be in a good way. It can be in a bad way. It can be just something that was like really is going to take a long time for you to unsee. You know what I mean? Like there's lots of ways it could be what the fuck.
Why was she suddenly pregnant at the end? And why the hairbrushing? I know she ate a cat. She ate a woman, I guess. But like she was like distended.
Yeah.
It was
well,
weird.
the Dybbuk was like in there, right? Because it went
But
away
the
when
Dybbuk's
she...
been in there the whole time, hasn't it?
Right, yeah.
So it just
Yeah.
like one day was like, boom, I'm going to be in your belly today. I don't know. It was...
Yeah, I don't know.
I That was a what the fuck. When she turned, I didn't immediately see it.
Yeah.
And then, like, they did another angle, and I was like, what the fuck? I literally said, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That was the only moment for me.
Sure.
Yeah.
It
Definitely.
also looked too high up to be, like, pregnant.
Right. It was
like, it was weird.
It was, like, distension. I feel like, from starvation, you know? And then
Yes, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe there's something in there, because something that actually was like weird, something that I noticed as like an
What did
interesting
you
detail
notice?
of this movie is when Maya goes underneath that thing and takes out the bowl, which she then breaks, and she's just like, "What the fuck?" It's like the engravings on the inside are this sort of like it reminds me of like fertility type art. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah.
And so I wondered if there was like something thematic in that, but you know what? If there is, I think it didn't come through. Like there's not enough in there that.
I wonder, because there was also that moment when she's looking at demons with Lev in that book.
Yeah.
And he like had a weird reaction to one of them. And I wonder if there was a scene cut out where like that is the demon that's in her, and maybe that is because it was like a female demon or something. It was like something feminine.
It the witch?
Yeah, something like that. And I wonder if part of that story is about like fertility or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
That's interesting. I'm gonna look that up.
That would be interesting. It's just something else
That-
there's more loopholes and more questions.
Sure.
Maybe they just really wanted us to like fill in the answers for ourselves, you know, and
Sure.
make it
Yeah.
what we want, which is like so nice of them.
Super artsy.
Yeah.
That's how we felt about Skinamarink too. Anyway,
Except that was great.
yeah, you
Really?
Yeah.
I might have
That's
watched
pretty
it
good.
like 4
It's
times.
hard to watch.
Wow. Oh, okay.
Um,
I have
cool.
conflicted.
Jen,
feelings.
any what the fuck moments? Or was it all
I've been
just
really
so
trying
good?
to
Like,
think about that. I think the first time I watched it, when she's having the seizure in the beginning and like Maya holds her legs and it sounds like her like leg snaps or like we see something for a second.
Yeah.
I was like, what? But again, I also couldn't quite tell what happened. So I was just like, did she just snap her leg? Did she break her leg? What happened?
Right.
So I think that was just maybe the most like,
Jarring.
yeah, for me, but
yeah.
I can't think of another moment. What would
about
yours
you,
be?
Harry?
I mean, I guess honestly, the only moment that sticks out to me as a moment that I really enjoyed, that I really felt compelled by, was when Maya goes into the mom's apartment and discovers that she's this like massive alcoholic, and there really is just like suddenly all this depth. Right, we knew it because she's like banging on the door a little bit earlier, and she's like, "I've had a few drinks," and we're like, "Okay, here's something here." And then we go in there, and you just see kind of like what a total shit show
Yeah.
her whole entire existence is, right?
Yeah.
It just felt like a little bit more. It was I was appreciated.
I definitely
appreciated
liked
the
that,
depth,
yeah.
You know, it suddenly there was like a little bit more there.
Yeah.
If there's a what the fuck moment in this, like I guess that's it for me.
Yeah. The only other really exciting moment that I was like, oh my God, was when you saw her blurry on the side bottom of the
Yes,
screen.
that was cool.
Yeah.
I was like, I feel like I don't see that in movies very often, where it's
Yeah.
like, it looks like reality TV almost, where it's like off screen kind of, it catches a
Yeah.
moment.
It's like when
That
you
was
have
really
like a
cool.
found footage movie. 'cause
Right,
the
it was very
camera's,
found
like very
footage.
still.
Yeah, that's probably why I liked it so much. I was like, oh my God, it's really happening.
I just wanted this movie to make me feel more miserable.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I wanted
have
to
to work
feel
harder.
something.
I didn't get my misery.
I cried at the end, but I also cry at literally everything.
Really?
Yes, I cried when, of course, when Hannah decided to die for Leah, and
Sure.
Leah didn't know that was about to happen, and then Leah had this emotional reaction. It was upsetting to me,
Mm-hmm.
but everything makes me cry, so what up?
I feel like the rules of that whole situation were not very well laid out.
So stupid.
So I like didn't understand that that's what was being chosen there. And
Yes.
that- yeah.
I saw it happening, and I was like, I think this wouldn't have worked with like what you said this does, but also I get what's happening, and I'm gonna let it happen because
Sure,
it's like
we'll
the
suspend
emotional,
disbelief, yeah.
suspend disbelief, exactly.
The second time I like paid attention more, but I was like, okay, so the person in the circle, the Dybbuk doesn't go into that person; it just kills that person. Okay, that's
Well,
what
I think
it seems.
either the person in the circle was gonna die
or everybody would
or
die.
everybody outside of
But
the
it
circle was
doesn't
gonna
go in
die.
anyone else's body, which was like,
It just floats.
yeah, it just
out
floats
into the
away.
ether.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
It's the most successful exorcism in all of
It
film
re-
history. I
it's
think,
fast,
right?
Well, I
too.
don't know. Has there been
Yeah.
a sequel yet? I'm really pulling for that Maya
Come
turnaround.
on.
Yeah, I really want to
I
see
mean,
Maya
she
possessed.
has all the equipment for them to like go and
Yeah.
get possessed
What
again.
happens if somebody, I don't know the answer to this, what happens if a non-Jewish person gets possessed by a Dybbuk? That would be cool to see.
We'll
Sure.
have more questions.
What happens if you try a Catholic exorcism on a Jewish demon?
I wrote that down as one of my questions.
Yeah.
How does someone know? Okay, two things. One, do demons only possess the people who believe
Follow
in that
their religion.
religion? Like, are they like, nope, not this house. I'll go
Yes,
to the
they
next
do.
house because that's
Would you
a
like to
Jewish
know
house.
why?
Because that's how it works.
All in your head.
Yeah.
Right?
True, because
Right?
even in the beginning when he's like explaining it and she's like, "Oh, a ghost," and he's like, "No," which
it was
was
Dybbuk.
a funny little scene.
Yes, that
but
was
like,
cute. Yeah.
yeah, that's a great question.
I think it's actually part of what makes The Exorcist so unsettling, as perhaps the best possession movie
It is
ever,
the best possession
because
movie.
that family is completely agnostic.
Oh, that's cool.
And
I need to rewatch
she
it.
has to like really come to grips with the fact that she's going to this organization that she like doesn't believe in to fix this problem that she's thoroughly tried medicine beforehand.
The other one that does it, because I love The Exorcist, but the other one, and I know I love it. It's not fantastic, but Stigmata.
Oh, I haven't seen that since I was like 14. Oh my God.
I feel like
I
I've
love that
seen
movie.
but I don't remember anything.
But she
about it.
also doesn't believe. Like,
I only remember being like, oh my God, that would hurt so bad.
Is that the one?
all I remember.
Wait. It's about a priest who like gets off the hook,
well, it's
right?
Patricia
it's a court
Arquette.
case. Oh, maybe I'm wrong.
No.
Oh my God, I need to rewatch it.
I mean, there is a priest.
Wait, there's a priest in the
Gabriel,
Exorcist movie?
but like I feel like every exorcism movie has a priest.
Of course,
Except this one.
Not this one.
Not this one.
All right.
This one's got a rabbi.
It depends on the religion of the spirit, okay?
So what?
And now we're getting ready for a joke, right?
Oh my god.
Good times.